I have been honest enough to say, if the anti-religious left, and the left is anti-religious, from Lenin to Soros, if the left had produced kind, intelligent, wise people, my religious beliefs would have been challenged. I fully acknowledge it, because I judge ideologies by their product. And that's why I don't judge people's theology or philosophy. But the left is wrong on everything, ruins everything, and most of them aren't nice. I'm not talking liberals. You know, I make a distinction. Liberals are weak, but they're not bad. Okay, so another one here. So do not be afraid of anyone. Only fear God. Fear of God is the antidote to fear of man. I know it because it's operative in my life. I don't give a damn about what the New York Times writes about me. It means nothing. I sleep perfectly fine that night. I don't walk around fearing anyone. And you don't know how liberating that is. That is why one of the three mottos of the country is in God we trust. Not we trust will take care of us. It's God who matters. And of course, man matters, obviously, but not in terms of fear. You can't, if you don't fear God, you will fear man. Humans fear. It is part of our makeup. It is impossible not to have fears. But you can liberate yourself from it if you fear the right party, which is God. I'll give you another one.
Let me just ask you something on that before you continue. Did you always have that within you? I mean, I think you've always had it, as you know, for the now 8 or so years that I've known you, and people know this story, but at the height of COVID, when I dragged you out to a Trump rally and you literally said to me, unvax you and unvax me, I hope I get COVID here. And then, of course, the media all called for you to die, and you eventually did get COVID and you survived, much to their chagrin. But the point is, you weren't being dominated by fear. Was that always in you, or was that something you learned very early?
Yeah, I learned it. I learned it and imbibed it. It became part of my nature. By the way, I just want to make clear, it was partially tongue-in-cheek about wanting COVID. What I did want was a way to get antibodies.
Yes, you said that, for sure.
And you know, I'm not an idiot, obviously, but I turned out right. I turned out right when I said that the lockdowns were the greatest international mistake in human history. And they were devastating. Keeping kids out of school for 2 years was a crime. Literally a crime. It was a crime against children. Look, we both feel this way. I don't have to belabor the point, but let's put it this way. I wrote a piece about 20 years ago, How the Left Keeps Me Religious. You'd love it. You should take a look at it.
That might explain my religious revival over here.
Yes, of course it would. Yeah. I have been honest enough to say, if the anti-religious left, and the left is anti-religious, from Lenin to Soros, if the left had produced kind, intelligent, wise people, my religious beliefs would have been challenged. I fully acknowledge it, because I judge ideologies by their product. And that's why I don't judge people's theology or philosophy. But the left is wrong on everything, ruins everything, and most of them aren't nice. I'm not talking liberals. You know, I make a distinction. Liberals are weak, but they're not bad.
You know, it's interesting because, as you know, we just had Justin a couple of weeks ago, and we've got baby number two on the way. But we did the briss at 8 days, and you know, if you look at it from a purely secular point of view, it's somewhat of a crazy thing to do. You bring this perfect thing into the world, and then you're cutting this child. That's what you're doing. And I remember David and I had this talk before about, you know, our thoughts on everything. And my overriding feeling about it was that my parents did it, their parents did it, their parents' parents did it, and way beyond that, for something like 5,783 years.
3,000. Really 3,200.
Yes.
Yeah, or 4,000, actually
4,000, right, the calendar, but we go back to Abraham. Okay. But the point is that it's been done for a long, long time. And I felt that am I just wiser than everyone that came before me?
Oh, God bless you. Oh, that's so the perfect reaction. And that's what they believe.
They think they are.
Leftists believe they are the best people who ever lived. They do. That's why they tear down Lincoln and Washington. We are better than them. They don't hold a candle to these people. By the way, I just want you to know I have 2 sons, as you'll have, God willing, and I had I don't cry easily, and it was with the 2 times I most remember sobbing was at their briss, at their circumcision, exactly for what you said. Holy crow, this goes back 4,000 years. I'm not prepared to end it.
It just felt crazy to me. Like, no, I just know so much. I just know so much. I won't do this thing. The people before me were so dumb. It's almost grotesque in a bizarre sense to think that way. But do you think so you're writing this book as all of this COVID craziness is going down, and you're making this distinction between, you know, politics and having a religious worldview or just something that's not politics. And then you see the people in the name of science sort of become, I wouldn't say religious, they became cult-like in their following of this stuff. That must have been interesting to be writing this at the same time.
All it did is reinforce everything I was writing and everything. Do you know that there's another law in the Torah? To give you an idea of how contemporaneous this stuff is, do not follow the majority to do bad.
Could have put that one on Twitter, Dennis.
Is that mind-blowing? A biblical law.
Do you think somehow that religious people didn't sell this stuff well enough? Like, what do you think happened
Correct.
Here? Is that
You're right. That you hit it. Dave, you're so in touch with everything. It cracks me up. Talking to you is such a joy.
Likewise, my friend.
Thank you. That is exactly correct. The religious are as responsible for the rampant non-religiosity as the anti-religious are. That is exactly
Do you think that goes across religions from a Western sense at least?
Oh, completely.
Really?
Christians fail to teach religion properly. Jews fail to teach religion properly. They all relied on inertia. I'm religious, my kid will be religious. End of issue. By the way, Americans did it as Americans. Americans didn't sell America to their kids. And that's another law in Deuteronomy. You have to teach these things diligently to your children when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you walk by the way. These are all, it's so brilliant. You can't stop, and it's perfect to tell you because you have 1.5 or 1 3/4. Dave, you guys got to talk to your kids about values constantly. I know I drove my kids crazy. I had one message. I don't give a damn about your grades. All I care about is your character. Have a great day.
And your kids are pretty good. I know David particularly.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And they play that recording. By the way, my older son, whom you know better, also David, the one straight David at the table.
You love that. You love when it's the 5 of us. There's one straight David.
I gotta say he cracks me up in general, David. But he has one complaint against me. You're gonna love this, because if you don't have a complaint against your father, you're not normal. So he has one complaint that I know of. Okay, I can't speak about others that I don't know of. Dad, you didn't push me hard enough in school, and he's right. I didn't. In fact, I said, I don't care if you do your homework. I care about your character. Very few parents say that, but I'll tell you something, you get better character.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about spirituality instead of nonstop yelling, check out our spirituality playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.